Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to a Way Offsides pop-up. I left you guys alone for a weekend just so I could get some free time, and it seems all hell broke loose. And by all hell, I mean you just started letting our guys flip their commitments over to Auburn. What are you guys doing, man? I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's not your fault. Um, it's none of our faults. It's NIL's fault. But I wanted to pop in real quick and talk about this because I know a lot of us are getting, having to deal with Auburn fans on social media, especially our family over on Twitter, X. Um, Guys, it's okay. It is okay. We're going to talk about this later on our live tonight, but um, it's okay because it's July. It's July 29th, and signing day, early signing day is December 4th, I think. And so a lot of what's happening right now is happening around money. We say all the time, follow the visits. I would also add the caveat, follow the cash. NIL has completely changed high school football recruiting. And with the two guys that we saw flip over to Auburn, we kind of knew they were both coming. Antonio Coleman has flipped a couple of times already. He was committed to Alabama, then verbally committed to Auburn, then Alabama, then Auburn. He'll likely verbally commit somewhere else next time. We'll see what happens. The other guy, Eric Smith, decided that he wanted to play wide receiver, although he was being coached at Alabama by a program that has a very successful track record of putting wide receivers in the draft with a new staff who has, I think they put 3 guys at Washington in the draft last year. But he decided that he knows better than them and he should be a wide receiver and not a DB. And so he took a bag and went to Auburn. We'll see if he ends up there. Who knows, guys? Honestly, I mean, that's the thing with what's going on right now is we've been telling you guys show after show, like there's going to be a lot of flips. There's going to be a lot of, hey, I'm going here. And then Steve Sarkisian rings the doorbell with the keys to a Lamborghini. Oh, nope, I'm going to Texas. But what you have to ask yourself is when you look at dynasties or teams that are consistently good, Alabama, right now, Georgia, Ohio State's consistently good. There's not a lot of eyes on those teams. There's not a lot of people who are more concerned with what they're going to get out of their where they go instead of the actual whole team. Derek Smith seems like he could be a good example of that in the sense that at Alabama, we know Alabama's track record in terms of developing wide receivers and putting them into the NFL where they go and make millions and millions of dollars. Take that aside, then you take the fact that you have now a head coach and an offensive coordinator / wide receiver coach who are very well versed in developing wide receivers. Tell this kid, hey, you're not a wide receiver, you're a DB. And he decided that that wasn't his thing, and he's going to go to Auburn where he plays wide receiver, and Pat Thorne's going to throw it to him. His loss, man. I mean, really, that is what it is. You got Caleb Cunningham coming in. You got Ryan Williams there. He's not going to play wide receiver at the University of Alabama. Now, Alabama doesn't need a lot of decommitments in terms of DBs. Antonio Coleman, the defensive lineman, that's a tough one too. Alabama loses a little bit of depth there long term, but again, none of these really matter today because it's July and nobody's signing an NLI until December. No one's signing anything until December. So a lot of this picture is going to change. And even without those guys and the guy that flipped his commitment to UCF last week, Bama still got the number 2 class in the country, right behind Ohio State, up there with Georgia. Yeah, Auburn jumps into the top 10, but we'll see if they remain there. Plus, help is coming in the name of AK Deer and potentially a couple of other surprises. Alabama's working to flip guys too. And so, they go and chase a bag, and that's okay. I want to be very clear when I say this. It's okay. Auburn fans, like it's not a big deal to say Hugh Freeze is paying players. He's got a really good track record of doing it and being successful with it. What he doesn't have a good track record of is being successful enough to make playoffs and national championship games or even SEC championship games. So pay players all you want, because until he can consistently do that, it doesn't matter. The players will respond to what they see on the field this fall, and what they're going to see on the field in the Plains is a 6-16. Alabama, they're going to see a high-profile, high-powered offense that's likely going to lead them to a playoff. So am I mad that Alabama lost those two guys? Mad's not the word. I mean, it sucks. It definitely sucks. I would like to see that, but it does free up scholarship space for other people. I've been telling you guys for a week, Alabama's not going to finish with the number one class. It's great that they got there. It's amazing that they got there, really. But they're not going to finish with that class, and that's okay. If they finish in the top 5, that's just as amazing and just as impressive. Okay. So don't let the Auburn fans get to you too much on social media. I know it's hard. I know they're frustrating. Anquan Fagans, I believe, is set to commit in 30 minutes. He's likely going to commit to Auburn. He did go to the cookout at Alabama, so we'll see if they were able to sway him enough. But from what I've seen, Alabama's not even one of the finalists. He's got Clemson, LSU, Auburn, and somebody else. Which, Anquan, you know me. If you watch this beforehand, Bama's the play, man. Just kidding. Best of luck anywhere you go, buddy. But in terms of Alabama fans and Auburn fans, look, if you know this sport, you know how quickly the momentum in recruiting can change. You saw it a month ago. Keelan Russell commits. Everybody starts committing to Alabama. Boom, 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 boom. Auburn's got the heat right now. They're on fire right now. I will say, with that in mind, and preface it by saying that Kalen DeBoer does have to have a better track record of recruiting in the state of Alabama, keeping these guys in Tuscaloosa. The Naheem Offords of the world, they need to be in Tuscaloosa. His long-term success will depend on that, recruiting his own fertile recruiting grounds. He's recruiting great everywhere else. He's built that pipeline of network through his coaching staff that we've talked about, but we got to see it in state first. Okay. So be sure to tune in tonight. We finally got super chat set up for you guys. We also have membership set up, upperclassmen, lowerclassmen, whichever one you want. Pick one. You get exclusive content, members only content. You get access to these really cool emojis. There's jersey numbers you guys can pick from. We'll be adding to that as we design more. A lot of exclusive content will be coming your way. Obviously shout outs during live streams, things like that. It's not super expensive. So let's take a peek. Get a membership. We'd love to have you. But be there tonight. It'll be 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, my time. And so we'll be talking a ton about recruiting and what's going on as we get ready for fall camp starting up. And see where Alabama sits in terms of recruiting. If there's a couple more prizes on the way, surprises on the way, I'll go ahead and tell you there are. But okay, until then, as always, say your prayers, wash your hands, read your Bibles, horns down, roll tide. We'll see you tonight.